Well, the pitfalls of renting in London is my next guest, Candace Abroad, who's a travel blogger. Thank you for coming in. Welcome to the programme. You have a TikTok account where you give advice to people looking to rent in London. What's the most common question that you get asked?
Honestly, it's as basic as how do I find a place, especially in the housing crisis now. I used to get more kind of fun and light questions like what are the best markets in London to visit? What are your favorite things about living in London? And kind of as time progressed, the questions got a bit more serious. How do I afford to live in London? How do I save in the capital? And how do I find a place?
And that means logistically finding a flat that people can move into, not identifying a flat that they would like to move into, because there is a difference, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of the step A to B, and that's what I walk them through in that TikTok.
And how many flats have you lived in London? Tell us about your experiences.
Oh my goodness, pretty much every flat you can live in. So I started in student accommodation when I moved here 7 years ago. Then I moved into shared accommodation, moved by myself, lived in shared accommodation again, and then shared accommodation again, and then I'll be moving with my partner in the future. So I've definitely been through the spectrum of the London housing market.
You've run through the gamut of all the situations that you can. What are your top tips for would-be renters watching this evening who can't find anything that they can afford and move into?
Yeah, I'd say number one is definitely to have your deposit and references ready, which obviously kind of counters that, but I think in general now, with everything going so fast, it's pretty impossible to find the place that you want if you don't have everything ready on the spot. So that would be your deposit, your references, proof of employment, and having that there. Yeah, I'd say secondly, to join a estate agent's mailing list. So if you go on their website, they usually have a mailing list that you can join, and then you'll kind of get first dibs on properties that match your criteria. So whatever your budget may be, even if it's not that high, they'll be able to know that. But you can go a step further too and go actually into their office and introduce yourself and put a face to the name.
It's not all online.
Yeah, they're seeing so many faces, and you're just an email address, honestly, until they know you personally, and then they're able to kind of put you top of mind when they see some place that's in your criteria. And then lastly, I would say utilize sites like Spare Room and try and see if you could rent directly through a private landlord, just because they're usually a bit more flexible on certain things, and there may be options that are more accessible for people. For example, living in their spare room of their flat, or I've even seen kind of arrangements where you can help with their childcare or help cook like some meals for them or something in exchange for a discounted rent. So I think there's kind of a wide gamut of options now.
Be flexible.
Be flexible.
Candace, thank you very much for your good advice and your time this evening.
Thank you so much.
Taking a look now at some of the